Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the voice of Caleb, and in today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to design a Facebook cover photo. Alright, you might have been seeing many cover photos many places, maybe on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, on X, and several other places, social media. So this time around we'll be specific on designing a Facebook cover photo. So one of the things, or one of the major steps you will take to achieve an effective Facebook cover photo is by getting the dimension. Alright, so for me to get the dimension, I've already set the dimension. That's why my canvas is this way. I've already set my dimension. So one of the things you're going to do for me now is to go to your background, this one that is highlighted red beneath my phone, and then you go straight to your image size. Alright, when you go to your image size, what you will see there is 1280 by 721. Alright, 1280 by 721. So we getting this, it's very important, very important in getting a Facebook cover photo. Alright, so I've already set it. When you are doing yours, you can just use this dimension, and that's clear. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do now is to import my image, the image I'll be using for this particular design. I'll import it. Remember that cover photos are very simple. Cover photos should not be complex. Alright, cover photos should not be complex. So I'll go ahead and look for my image, the image I'll rather use for this design. So let's try to get it. Alright, I have this image over here, and I think this is a good one. So I'll just quickly import it to my Pixellab, and I think this is good. I think this position is good. Alright, this is a good one. So I'll just quickly lock up the layer. Alright. And then another thing I'm going to do now is that I want to play with the background a little bit. Alright, so one of the things I'm going to do now is to go to my shape, then scroll all the way to gradients. Alright, then click on my plus sign, and then this particular color I'll change it to any color around here. I think this should do. Alright, so this is the hashtag FFC193. That's 255.255.193.147. Alright, so that's the hashtag and the code. So when I click on my check sign, we have something like this. Then I'll go to the ash color, click on that color picker again, then turn this last one I'm moving, I'll turn it to the transparent part. Alright, when I turn it to that transparent side, I'll mark my check sign. So having this, I think I've got what I want, but not so definite because I want to put this in on top of the image, so I have to swap it. Instead of being other, I'll swap it. So I'm clicking on this particular one. Where I click is on this particular one that has a less than sign and a greater sign, both in one icon. Alright, this is the one I'm clicking. Alright, so that's that. So you mark your check sign, and then when I come to my Pixellab proper into the canvas, I'll just make an adjustment a little bit. I'll make an adjustment so that I'll have something like this. Then I'll quickly take it to back. Alright, when I take it to back, I will have something like this. Then I'll go ahead and go to my draw. I'll go to my draw tool. Sorry, I want to do that again. I will go to my draw tool. Then I will increase my pen size. I'll increase my smoothness. I'll increase my blur radius. When I'm done with that, I'll make sure I click on the color or check on the color I want to use. Alright, so I'll be using this first one. So when I check it, I'll just mark something on the screen. Alright, just touch any part of the screen that is inside this dimension, not outside the dimension, inside of it. Alright, so when you are done, you mark your check sign. When you mark your check sign, you can increase it to whatsoever you want, but this time around I want to reduce the opacity of this. It's too much, so I want to reduce the opacity. So when I'm done with this, I'll take this part to the back, I'll copy, I'll take this to somewhere here, I'll copy again. I'll take this to something at the back here. Then I can copy again and take it to somewhere here. Then I'll copy the last one, but this time around I'll reduce the size, and then I'll try to make the opacity to be lower. Yes, a little bit faint, not so noticeable. Alright, let's have used an opacity of 24. Okay, let's say 25. So when we are done with this, we go ahead and do what? And lock it up. We go ahead and lock it up. Very important, very important. So I'll take this lady to the front on top of every other thing. So I've gotten my background ready, and I've gotten every other thing ready. The background is ready, and the picture that I'm going to use is ready. So the next I'm going to do now is to put up a text. Alright, the text is very simple. So let's say I'll put up Emmanuel Esther. Let's say Emmanuel Esther. Back your check sign, and then we play around with the fonts. I'm not really good, or I don't really feel this font that well. I don't feel it that much, so let me just go ahead and mess around with some fonts. Let me check this. I think this is okay, but it's not giving me exactly. So this is one of the places that designers spend much time in making the right choice of font. Alright, actually this is for the sake of the tutorial, so that it will be at least a bit brief and then straight to the point. That's why I'm being this fast. But once we put up our text now, we are good to go. I think the text is not bad. It's not a bad one. So, but I will change the color so it will be something pleasing. So I just changed the color. Let's see what it gives us. Let me pick a color from my face. That will be very, very close. Alright, let's check something like this. Alright, I think this is better. So I'm going to up my grid line so that I can be able to make some adjustments. Alright, so I'll up my grid line. I'll activate it, then move this last one. I'll move it somewhere here, and then move this to somewhere here. Alright, so I'll off that, then come over to align it properly. Alright, so what is this Emmanuel Esther doing? What are her services? So it's her services that will now put up on the next as the next text. Alright, so let's say, okay, before I'll do that, let me put up a shapes that I'll use to write those things. So the first one is, let's say, this shape. I put up this shape. So let me activate my grid line to be more. So I'll have 20, okay, let's say 10 by 10. Okay, let's make it 15 by 15. Alright, so that I'll have something like this. Alright, so let me activate the shape. Now I'll go to my my radius and increase the radius to like +5. Either +5 or +4. Let's check what it looks like. Okay, this is okay. So I'll go to edit 5. Alright, now that I've checked off 5, I'll duplicate it, or rather copy it. Then I'll go to my edit again, and then break it down. Now will not be the same color. I'll change it to another color. Okay, let's say a green. Alright, now that it's a green, I'm not yet done. I'll copy it again. Now, there is another thing I would like also note. I want to align, make sure that all these things are aligned perfectly. So what I'll do now is to make sure that the horizontal lines, that the first two at the bottom, or the two at the bottom, are aligning properly in the same line. Alright, so this one also on top, to make sure that they are aligning properly. Alright, from top, so you check it. I'm using my I'm using my move tool to achieve that. I'm using my position tool rather. So position tool, you click on your position tool and you make the adjustment. All right, now I'll activate my grid line so that I'll do something real quick. All right, so this is what I need now, and then for these parts, this is what I need. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to make sure that the ones towards the right are aligned properly on the same line vertically. Alright, so I have something like this. So another thing I'm going to do now is to make it closer to each other. Alright, is to make the two on top to be closer to the ones under. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and click on my layer icon. So we are working with the milk color and the yellow color kinda. So I will come down here, I'll click on this good and bad sign here. I'll click on it so that I can be able to select. So I'll select this one and this one. Then I'll go, you will see the first thing you see there down there is a dustbin sign, and then something like a board with a pencil. That's the one I'm going to click now. I'll click on it. Other options will come out. You will see your position tool, you see your relative position, you see your size, you see your rotation, you see your lock tool, and all of that. So what I'll simply go to now is my position tool. All right, then off this, I'll go away from the layer, or rather deactivate the layer, then I'll bring it down. All right, so why I did this thing so that the both of them can move simultaneously. All right, so that the both of them can move simultaneously. So with that, I think I'm able to achieve what I want to achieve at the moment, but I'm not yet done. I want to align it properly with that Esther. So what I will do now is to activate my grid line. The first grid line towards the vertical grid line towards the left, I'll make sure it's in position. Then I'll go back again to my layers, activate, and make sure I move all of them simultaneously to that position. All right, this is my movement. So if I turn it to 1 pixels, I can be able to move it to with the lowest speed. Now that I've gotten what I want, I think I'm good to go. If I off the grid lines, this is what it looks like. All right, so you see that you are actually becoming a pro designer with just your smartphone. So if you are not in my tutorial, make sure you join my tutorial by next year. It's an academy for designers that want to start up their game or that want to refresh their game with just their smartphone. All right, let's get into it again. So we're going to put something to fill up this background, like the last space at the bottom. So what are we going to do? We'll check for something. All right, okay, let's put a motivational talk. So because I don't have any motivational talk for the moment, where I will simply go is to my text and check for quotes. I'll just check for quotes, something that is motivational. All right, I'm already on the motivational, I think. So you click on the motivational, then you check for the ones that you want or the one that suits what you are doing. Then I'll make this to be left aligned. So still on my text, I'll scroll all the way to make it left aligned. You see alignment, you see spacing, you see line spacing. So I'll go to alignment. Then you see left align, center align, right align. So I'm using my left. All right, so now that I'm using my left, I'll increase this. We are trying to work with every principle, even if not 100%, but all the principles we must use here, we make sure that we achieve them perfectly, we use them perfectly. Do you understand? So this is just us playing with alignment, balance, contrast, and several other principles. Hierarchy is also involved. Do you understand? You will see the lady, and the lady, after seeing the lady here, you will see her name, Emmanuel Esther. So this is us playing with our hierarchy and other principles of design. All right, so I want to change the color of this to the initial color we have there. So I'll click on this particular color so that it will be kind of the same. We're going to add something to also spice it up a bit. So what am I going to add? I'll go to my Bezier and I'll activate it and click on my check sign. Sorry, I'll do that again. Activate. I'll have to increase the radius. I'll increase the radius a bit, then click on my check side. Then I will also increase the size from here. Not just to increase the size from here, I'll go ahead and change the color. I'll activate and change the color to something this, like this. Then come back again, I'll go to my opacity and reduce it. So let me off this and reduce it so that I'll have something like this. Alright, so that I'll have something like this. So this is the effect I want to create at this point with this particular tool. Alright, so me doing this, I think I've also got to what I want. So I'll go ahead and lock up all the layers. Alright, now that I've locked up all the layers that I already have, the next thing I'm going to do now is to fill in every other thing that she does into these shapes I've just provided for each of them. So what I'm going to do is let's say graphic designer. Let's say she's a creative designer, or let's start with child of God, depending on what the client or the person you are working for. So we have child of God, so that I will retain the same size and the same color with this text and other text. What I'll just do is to copy this particular text again, and then I'll go ahead and change the write-up. Let's say content creator. All right, content creator. So I have this. All right, now that you have all of this, this is a perfect design. Clean, simple, and detailed. If somebody gets to be clean, simple, and detailed. Meanwhile, I know there is a kind of a porch space on top that I would like to cover up a bit. So let me just go ahead. I will highlight all of that. Click on the manual, highlight these 4, then come over to highlight these 4 again so that I can move them together. So I have something like this. I think this is better. Let me bring it a bit down. I remember proximity. Remember proximity as a principle of design. Grouping related elements in a particular design, grouping them together, bringing them together. All right. So all the things she does is we are grouped here together, and then other ones that are not really what she does are separate. All right. So we have something as this. So another thing I'm going to do is just to move these 4. I'm going to shift it a little bit away from her name, Esther. I'm going to shift it a little bit from her name, Esther. Now we have this. I'll just go and add maybe 1 or 2 elements to close the sharp edges. All right. So let me just go ahead and find something. Looking at this, we are actually done with the design. There's nothing much we are designing again. All right. We are not designing anything again. We're not designing anything again. So we just add maybe, let's just add 1 or 2 things. So with this, we have actually come to the end of this wonderful tutorial. All right, and I believe you gained value. So if you are just joining up for the first time, please just do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel and click the notification bell so that you can be notified on when new video tutorials like this will drop, for you to be a mad designer just with your smartphone. All right, so thank you very much for staying with me. As you look at this, if you want to save now, you can just quickly click on your save as project. I can save as Esther Emmanuel, or Emmanuel Esther, Facebook cover photo. All right, so let's save with something unique. So I've saved it as project, then I'll go ahead and save as image. So if you want to save as image, you go to your custom, you save as ultra, you now save to your gallery. You see, rendering image, and that is all. Image saved. So we have actually come to a conclusive end and a productive end, that this design will be functional. This design will be functional. All right, so thank you very much for staying with me. It's still Caleb, your friend, and if you're my student, do well to continue in this journey.